Boy Recap 83.
In today's video, we will be going through an action war film entitled Act of Valor. There will be spoilers ahead, chill out and enjoy. The movie begins with a man writing a letter while he is narrating what is written in it. Then, in the Philippines, the ambassador to the United States of America, Ambassador Margulies fetches his son in an elementary school when an ice cream truck enters the school. His son sees the truck and asks his father to buy him ice cream. When the father and son reach the truck, the driver of the truck, Abu Shabal, who's also the mastermind and leader of a terrorist group, immediately leaves. Afterward, the truck explodes, killing the ambassador, his son, and many children that were gathered around the truck. Then, we meet Lieutenant Rourke and Chief Dave in a bar, while the news of the incident is being reported. There, Lieutenant Rourke tells Chief Dave that his wife, Jackie, is pregnant and invites him and their comrades, along with their families, on a trip. Meanwhile, in Costa Rica, a man known as Cristo arrives in a community and the children excitedly gather around him. A doctor sees him and smiles at him. At night, the doctor, who turns out to be a CIA agent, Lisa Morales, meets with her partner, Walter Ross. The two talk about Cristo, who is a drug smuggler, but gives back and helps the community, causing them to be loyal to him. Agent Morales also discovers a link that will connect Cristo to Shabal. Meanwhile, the two of them are unaware that someone is watching and taking photos of them. The scene changes to Rourke and Dave on their family trip. The man narrating seems to be talking to a child, telling him his relationship with his father. Then, we see Rourke and Dave surf as their family watches them. Back to Costa Rica, Agent Morales and Agent Ross are playing Scrabble when someone rings the doorbell. Thinking that it's the food Agent Morales ordered, Agent Ross gets it, but he is shot dead as soon as he opens the door. Two men quickly enter the room and attack Agent Morales. She tries to fight back, but the men overpower and capture her. The scene changes back to the family trip where the narrator introduces the other members of their platoon. He introduces Wyme, Ray, Sonny, AJ, Mickey, and Senior Chief Miller. Them, along with their families, are having fire over a bonfire. Later, Rourke talks to his team and tells them the importance of keeping the balance between doing their jobs as a soldier and as a family man. Afterward, we see them bid goodbye to their family and board a train. We also see Rourke bidding goodbye to his wife. Jackie wants Rourke to be with her when she gives birth, and he promises to do his best. Rourke, then, leaves and Jackie cries as she closes the door. Meanwhile, we see Agent Morales beaten up when a man contacts Cristo and questions her. Agent Morales insists that she's a doctor, still not letting go of her cover, but Cristo knows who she is and who she works for. Cristo, then, orders to keep the agent alive until the speaks up. The scene changes to the Camp Witches Rock at Costa Rica, where soldiers are discussing what happened to Agents Morales and Ross. They are ordered to rescue Agent Morales. The S.E.A.Ls Team 7 moves out, sneaks their way to the enemy's camp, holding the position overnight. Later, helicopters drop the extraction team in the nearby river. Then, we see that Agent Morales is being tortured. Hearing her screams, the soldiers have no choice but to move a bit earlier than planned. Wyme, the team sniper, takes down the guards as Chief Dave and his team enter the warehouse, while Lieutenant Rourke stays with Wyme, monitoring the area using a drone. Unfortunately, while looking for Agent Morales, Mikey is shot in the eye when an enemy opens fires at them. His comrades quickly attend to him while others fight back. Outside, Wyme is providing cover for the team by shooting every enemy trying to get inside. Then, Chief Dave finds Agent Morales and confirms her identity. They also got a phone that is full of information about Agent Morales' investigation. The soldiers begin to move out as the enemy backups are arriving. Using a truck, they drive to the extraction point. While driving, they're still attending to Mikey when she suddenly wakes up. He survives, but his one eye is blinded. The enemies keep chasing them when Lieutenant Rourke and Wyme reach the road and Wyme shoots a rocket at them. Quickly, they hop on the back of the pickup truck and move to the third extraction point because they missed the second one. Other enemy trucks are on the way and soldiers' truck crashes into the river. Luckily, the extraction team arrives and provides cover for them, shooting the enemies, as the soldiers drive to safety. The scene changes to Ukraine where we see a man showing Shabal a suicide bombing vest. The man proudly tells Shabal that the vests are undetectable because the explosives are made out of gel inside ceramic ball bearings embedded in the vest. Afterward, Shabal meets with Cristo and it is revealed that the two are childhood friends. Cristo tells Shabal that he will go into hiding because he knows that the CIA is already behind his back. This makes S.E.A.L angry and confronts him about their plans, to which Christo responds that it will continue, not just with him handling it personally but by a trusted subordinate. Meanwhile, at the Central American coast, Senior Chief Miller discusses to Lieutenant Rourke and Chief Dave what they discovered upon investigating the phone that recovered during the rescue of Agent S.E.A.Ls. He tells them the relationship of S.E.A.L to Christo, but it turns out that S.E.A.L does not care about drugs or money. He just wants chaos. Then, Senior Chief Miller lays out the plan on stopping S.E.A.L. Ray and AJ will go to Africa to gather intel because S.E.A.L will be there for the transfer of weapons before moving to Mexico. Then, Lieutenant Rourke, Chief Dave, and the rest of their platoon will stay to monitor the situation and to respond quickly if something happens anywhere near America. Lastly, Senior Chief Miller will go with the SEAL Team 4 to capture Christo. After the briefing, Chief Dave is about to leave to brief their men when Lieutenant Rourke stops him. The lieutenant gives him a death letter for him to send to Jackie if something bad happens to him. Chief Dave, then, reveals to him that he thought of requesting the command to send Lieutenant Rourke home to spend time with his wife. But he realizes that they need him in this mission. Afterward, we see AJ and Ray board a submarine and get briefed about their mission. Then, we see them in Somalia watching S.E.A.L and the terrorists transferring crates from one plane to another. They also spot 16 Filipinos with S.E.A.L which confuses them. Meanwhile, in a yacht, Christo is surprised when his yacht is attacked and suddenly surrounded by soldiers. Later on, Senior Chief Miller shows up and introduces himself to Christo, and the two talk about S.E.A.L. Although Christo does not believe in S.E.A.L's beliefs, he believes in his friend and his goals. He also uses the pendulum as a metaphor for them, being S.E.A.L and Christo in the two ends of the pendulum while the Americans are those balls in the middle. This angers Senior Officer Miller, thinking that Christo is playing games. He, then, shows Christo a video of him with his kid. Senior Officer Miller uses Christo's family for him to cooperate. Christo, then, reveals to him about the ceramic ball bearings. He reveals to the senior chief that S.E.A.L plans to destroy America, worse than it did during the 9/11 attack using 16 suicide bombers that are scattered in different cities. The scene changes to Cedros Island in Mexico where Lieutenant Rourke and his platoon sneak into a town. Then, we see a man making a vest with ceramic ball bearings. The soldiers quietly move and enter the houses, but when they spotted a man with a gun, they shoot him. Alerting the other terrorists in the area, a shootout happens. Two terrorists try to escape using a pickup truck but they are spotted by Wyme who's in a helicopter. They try to shoot a rocket at them but misses and Wyme takes them down. Meanwhile, the fighting continues and Lieutenant Rourke and Chief Dave enter the house of the man making a suicide vest. But the man is waiting for them, holding a rocket launcher, and shoots them as soon as they enter the house. Chief Dave is luckily not hit. Lieutenant Rourke takes the rocket into his body and sends him flying. Chief Dave quickly shoots the man down and attends to his friend. Luckily, because of the short distance, the rocket did not explode nor pierce through Lieutenant Rourke's body. The two, then, see the suicide vest. Afterward, we see S.E.A.L talking to the Filipino jihadists and pointing to the location where they will go. Going back to Rourke, he receives a report from the base that their mission is not yet over because half of the jihadists escaped, and they will cross the border using a tunnel network. Then, they are ordered to meet with a Mexican SOF commander and his men for them to join forces to stop S.E.A.L. Meanwhile, S.E.A.L and the 8 remaining jihadists have already reached the milk factory. Afterward, we see Lieutenant Rourke meets with the Mexican SOF commander and shares the intel to him about the terrorists crossing the border by the use of a tunnel system. The commander quickly realizes where the place is and warns them that the place is under the jurisdiction of a cartel, so they must prepare for a much bigger fight. Then, we see them move around the town using trucks. The scene changes inside the factory where S.E.A.L and the Filipino jihadists are being instructed by a man on what they will do. Outside, the cartel members notice the soldiers and shoot at them. But the soldiers have already reached the milk factory. Hearing the gunshots outside, the man quickly leads S.E.A.L and the jihadists to the tunnel. Meanwhile, the soldiers outside fight back. Lieutenant Rourke, then, orders Wyme to secure the entrance as they enter the factory. Inside, S.E.A.L tells one Filipino jihadist to stay and detonates the vest to stop the soldiers. Scared, S.E.A.L secures the woman that she will be joining her husband in heaven afterward. Then, 2 soldiers enter the room where the jihadist is. Crying, she presses the detonator and her vest explodes. Luckily, the 2 soldiers manage to get out of the room immediately. The explosion caught up with another man with a vest and it causes another explosion. Getting on their feet and reuniting with others, the soldiers continue their search for S.E.A.L and the remaining jihadists. Then suddenly, an enemy drops a hand grenade at them. It seems like Lieutenant Rourke is the only one who notices the bomb. Alerting everyone, he quickly jumps on top of the grenade, sacrificing himself to save his comrades. Looking back, Chief Dave is surprised to see his friend lying on his pool of blood. He quickly attends to his friend when Sonny tells him to continue and assure him that he will stay with the lieutenant. Meanwhile, S.E.A.L and the jihadists reach the tunnel when the man leading them stops to provide cover. But before they could enter the tunnel, Chief Dave and another soldier show up and shoot them. They manage to take down the soldier with Chief Dave, but he also manages to take down the man and the remaining jihadists. Unfortunately, S.E.A.L also shot Chief Dave many times. Losing his consciousness, S.E.A.L is about to finish him when Sonny arrives and guns S.E.A.L down. Sonny, then, reports to the base that the tunnel is secured and all the threats are already neutralized. He, also, reports that Chief Dave and Lieutenant Rourke are down. While we see Lieutenant Rourke's face, the scene changes to his burial. Lieutenant Rourke is given a military funeral honor. There, we see that Chief Dave survives but needs to be in a wheelchair. Jackie, then, receives the American flag as an honor to his late husband's service for the country. He also receives the old American flag that Lieutenant Rourke always brought in every mission that belonged to his father. Before Lieutenant Rourke's coffin is brought down, his platoon puts their special warfare insignia, also known as the S.E.A.L trident, to pay respect to their fallen leader. Then, it is revealed that the narrator of the story is Chief Dave, narrating his letter that is meant for Lieutenant Rourke's son. We see Jackie crying as she finishes reading the letter while holding her child's hand because the last part of it directly comes from Lieutenant Rourke, which is his favorite poem. She, then, places the letter on top of Lieutenant Rourke's old man's flag. The movie ends by paying dedication and respect to all the warriors of naval special warfare that made the ultimate sacrifice since 9/11.